Hare Krishna. Welcome to our program. Our speaker of the day is Shriman Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. He has done his master's degree from the prestigious Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Prabhuji is a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, who is a senior disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He is also a member of ISKCON Examination Board and takes classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and Vaishnav etiquettes. He has written elaborate workbooks on Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, with which the students can dive into intricacies of these great scriptures. He is a compiler of many other educational booklets and magazines, thus helping the seekers of Bhagavad knowledge. In all, he is a living encyclopedia of scriptures preaching the science all over the world, and who is exemplary and lives whatever he preaches. Come, let's hear him and try to imbibe the essence of scriptures as presented by him. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, when he was tied up by Mother Yashoda, he saw these two huge trees in Nanda Maharaj's courtyard. They were the two Yamalarjuna trees, and they were actually Nalakuvera and Manigriva, the sons of Kuvera, who were cursed to become trees by Narada Muni. When Narada Muni cursed them for their misbehavior, they became trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, and Krishna, in his bound condition, he went towards those trees and he pulled those trees down by using this wooden grinding mortar and the rope. And Nalakuvera and Manigriva regained their original forms as sons of Kuvera. They were shining, they were so effulgent, they were shining with so many ornaments and beautiful dresses, and they kind of illuminated the atmosphere there also. And they thanked Krishna, they praised Krishna in various ways, and after praising Krishna, after expressing their gratitude to Krishna, these Nalakuvera and Manigriva spoke their future plan, how they are going to spend their rest of lives in Krishna consciousness. Earlier, they were addicted to women and wine, and they were using a holy place like Kailasha mountain and Mandakini Ganga for their sense gratification. But somehow, because of the intervention of this great devotee like Narada Muni, there was purification of their consciousness. They have personally witnessed Krishna's pastimes by standing as trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. Now they came back to their senses. They were offering obeisances to Krishna, and they said, Vani gunanu kathane shravanau kathayam hastau cha karma sumanastava padayornaha smrityam shirastava nivasa jagat praname drishtis satam darshanestu bhavattanunam. This Nalakuvera and Manigriva expressed their willingness to render devotional service in future. They were telling Krishna, Oh Krishna, Vani Gunanu Kathane, we will engage our power of speech in glorifying your beautiful qualities. Sravanau Kathayam, and we will engage our ears in hearing the narrations of your nectarian pastimes. Hastaucha Karmasu, we will engage our hands in rendering various services to you. Manas Tavapadayornaha, and we will engage our mind in constantly remembering your divine lotus feet. Smrityam Shirastava Nivasa Jagat Praname, and we will engage our mind in remembering your lotus feet, and we will engage our head in offering obeisances unto you, who are the form of this universe, who are the source of this universe. Drishtis satam darshane astu bhavattanunam, and we will engage our eyes in seeing the beautiful forms of your deities and your devotees. In this way, Nalakuvara and Manigriva expressed their willingness to perform devotional service unto Krishna. After offering these prayers to Krishna, Nalakuvara and Manigriva just left that place. So they thanked Krishna, they started singing the glories of Krishna and went away to their abode. At that time Krishna was there in the middle of these fallen trees. Nalakuvara and Manigriva, they were in the form of Yamalarjuna trees till now, and when Krishna collapsed them, they were on the either side of Krishna, and Krishna was there, and wooden grinding mortar was also there, the rope was also there, and all the people in Vrindavan assembled there, because when these two trees were uprooted and they fell down, they made such huge sound that spread in all directions, and all the Vrajavasis assembled there. Children, the Gopas, the Gopis and elders and younger people, everybody assembled there, and at this time even Nanda Maharaj arrived there. So they thought that there must be a great calamity here. There was no wind, there was nobody who pulled down the trees with some ropes, nobody cut the trees with axe, and there was no cause for the trees to fall down all of a sudden. All the people were surprised. And when the devotees of Vrindavan, when the Vrajavasis were surprised in that way, there were some children who were playing there when Krishna pulled down these trees. They were telling, oh, it is Krishna who went along with this mortar in the middle of these two trees, and he pulled the trees down and the trees were uprooted. But nobody could believe. No one could believe that such a small 2-3 year old boy can pull down, can uproot such great trees. But somehow all the devotees of Vrindavan, they felt so happy that Krishna was safe. Their minds were filled with anxiety. They were thinking, if these trees had fallen on Krishna, what would have happened to Krishna? Somehow the Supreme Lord Vishnu has protected Krishna, God has protected Krishna. They were thinking, out of their innocence, they did not consider that Krishna has the power to uproot these trees. Krishna could effortlessly empower the rope and the mortar to make the trees fall down. They did not think in that way, because they never considered Krishna to be God. They were thinking that Krishna is protected by the Supreme Lord Narayana, and it is our fortune that Krishna is safe now. They were thanking Krishna, and Nanda Maharaj came and picked up Krishna. He found that Krishna's waist was bound by a rope, and he was tied to this wooden grinding mortar. Immediately Nanda Maharaj asked, who had tied you up in this way? Who dares to bind you with a rope? You are my son. Then when Nanda Maharaj became furious to see this scene, then somebody told Nanda Maharaj that, my dear Nanda Maharaj, it is Yashodamayi who tied up Krishna. Even Krishna only told Nanda Maharaj in his ears, my dear father, mother tied me up in this way. Then Nanda Maharaj became very angry. How can Mother Yashoda tie you up like this? Doesn't she have any mercy? What would have happened if these trees fell down on you? So you just somehow crawled and came all the way to these trees, and the trees fell down. What would have happened if you were hurt by the trees? Nanda Maharaj became very much shocked by this whole thing, and then he became very angry with Mother Yashoda also. And Krishna is already angry with Mother Yashoda. Somehow it's a part of the pastime. Of course, Krishna loves Yashoda and Nanda as his eternal parents, and there is absolutely no obstruction in their relationship since time immemorial and for the rest of eternity. So, Krishna at this stage, he was manifesting some anger temporarily on Mother Yashoda for binding him. Already all the people there were in shock. There were so many calamities in Vrindavan. Just when Krishna was just few days old, a great female demon named Putana came and fed Krishna her milk, and then she wanted to actually kill Krishna. She manifested her huge form, 8 miles long form, as a demoness, and somehow by Lord Narayana's grace, Krishna was protected. And later Shakatasur tried to attack Krishna. That hand cart was falling on Krishna, but somehow Narayana protected him in that way also. And Trinavarta is a wind demon. Trinavarta came in the form of a whirlwind, and he picked up Krishna and he went 800,000 miles high in the sky, and from there he wanted to actually kill Krishna. He was a man-eater, but somehow he fell down from there, and then he fell on a boulder and his limbs were dislocated and Krishna was safe. And now these two huge Yamalarjuna trees fell down and Krishna was safe. So all the Vrajavasis were wondering at this uncommon incident. For without any reason the trees fell down and Krishna was safe. They were happy that Krishna is safe, and they were also mortified and they were surprised that the trees fell down without any cause. They were suspecting there may be some demoniac influences in this area. They were specifically targeting Krishna, who Krishna's safety is our great concern. They were thinking in that way, but simultaneously they were happy and their affection for Krishna was also increasing. They were happy that Krishna was safe and their affection for Krishna is increasing. As Krishna is performing such wonderful pastimes and not getting affected in the midst of so many calamities, the Vrajavasis did not feel that Krishna must be God. That's why nothing is affecting him. Their affection for Krishna is only increasing. Although Krishna may exhibit some superhuman powers in Vrindavan, it's the nature of Vrajavasis' pure love and affection that they don't believe that he is God. So now Krishna is picked up by Nanda Maharaj, and Nanda Maharaj untied Krishna. He released Krishna from that rope of Mother Yashoda. Yashoda had loving affection. She had motherly affection, parental affection for Krishna, and Nanda Maharaj also had parental affection for Krishna, because Yashoda Mai tied Krishna with her parental affection. Only Nanda Maharaj had the ability to untie Krishna. He also had similar parental affection for Krishna, almost same as Yashoda Mai. So Nanda Maharaj released Krishna, and Krishna was not inclined to go to Mother Yashoda. Krishna did not want to go to Mother Yashoda, and Nanda Maharaj took Krishna and Balaram to the banks of Yamuna, and there they took bath, they offered charity to Brahmanas, and Nanda Maharaj, Krishna and Balaram, they spent some time there and they came back to their Goshala. At Goshala, means where all the cows were staying, Krishna drank the cow's milk mixed with some sugar. So Krishna was staying with Nanda Maharaj only. Krishna was not at all interacting with Mother Yashoda, and Mother Yashoda is aware by this time. Mother Yashoda was so ashamed. She was feeling tremendous amount of guilt because of my strict behavior. I am not a very good mother. I have behaved in a very cruel manner to my child, and I tied him up unnecessarily, and just because of his small mischief I have punished him in this way. Of course, she punished with great love and affection for Krishna, but because of her motherly affection, she is feeling very guilty now. Mother Yashoda was crying profusely. She was feeling so bad that she troubled Krishna in this way. She went inside a room. She was crying and nobody could pacify her. And she was not coming out of that room only. Out of her shame, she could not face Krishna. She could not face Nanda Maharaj also. But her heart was completely immersed in remembrance of Krishna and love for Krishna. Mother Yashoda was devastated by this experience. Then, seeing her piteous condition, all the women, the elderly gopis of Vrindavan surrounded her and tried to console her, tried to pacify her. So they were trying to comfort her, but Mother Yashoda was crying in pain. And on top of it, now Krishna is not inclined to go to Mother Yashoda, and that increased the pain of Mother Yashoda. So Mother Yashoda was feeling so bad, and Rohini Mata, who was the mother of Balaramji, she understood the pain of Yashoda, and she came to Nanda Maharaj. At that time, Krishna, Balaram were with Nanda Maharaj. Rohini asked Krishna. Krishna was sitting in the lap of Nanda Maharaj. Rohini asked Krishna, Krishna, your mother is crying. She did not eat anything on this Deepavali day. She was feeling so bad. She is crying profusely. Won't you come to your mother? Can you please come to your mother? Then Krishna said, no, I did not do any mistake, and my mother became so strict with me. She chastised me in various ways. She tied me up to that wooden grinding mortar because she punished me so violently. I won't be able to come to her. I won't come. Then Rohini was also devastated with these indifferent, insensitive words of Krishna. She said, Krishna, why are you behaving in such a way? How can you live without your mother? How can your mother live without you? If you do not come to your mother Yashoda, she will be devastated, and whom will you play with? Right? You are always playing with Mother Yashoda. Now if you don't come to her, whom will you play with? Then Krishna said, I will play with Nanda Maharaj. I will not come to Yashoda Mai. Then whose milk will you drink? Then Krishna said, I will drink cow's milk mixed with sugar. I will not come to Mother Yashoda. Then Rohini became so concerned about Mother Yashoda. Why are you behaving so cruelly? It is not, you are not supposed to be behaving in this way, Krishna. So please show some kindness. Your mother is dying out of pain and separation from you. Please don't behave in this way. Then Rohini even requested Nanda Maharaj also, can you please tell your son? Then Nanda Maharaj was supporting Krishna. Nanda Maharaj said, oh, why did Yashodamai punish Krishna in this way? So she has to suffer in that way. So Krishna will not come. If Krishna wants to come, let him come. Rohini asked Krishna, so Krishna, please come. She requested repeatedly, but Krishna was not at all willing to come. At the time, Nanda Maharaj said, see, Yashoda caused so much pain to my dear son. Now I am going to beat her. So Nanda Maharaj, just making a gesture, he just lifted his hand as if he was about to beat Yashodamai, but actually he never wants to. Krishna became afraid. Krishna immediately caught hold of Nanda Maharaj's hand and pulled it down, and he jumped off from Nanda Maharaj's lap, and he ran into Yashodamai's room and entered her lap and hugged her. And Yashodamai, seeing this spontaneous affection of Krishna, she became so happy. She cried profuse amount of tears. She literally bathed Krishna with her tears, and she embraced Krishna, she kissed Krishna, and she gave her milk to Krishna, and Krishna became happy, and Nanda Maharaj was happy, and Yashoda was also happy. That's how Mother Yashoda's affection was so wonderfully glorified in this beautiful, enchanting Damodar Leela that Krishna has performed. Just like Rasa Leela is the epitome of all Madhurya pastimes, conjugal pastimes of Krishna, Damodar Leela is the most enchanting pastime of Vatsalya pastimes. It is the epitome of all Vatsalya pastimes. Mother Yashoda became so happy now, and Mother Yashoda's glories are announced through this wonderful Leela. Yashoda only had the ability to bind Krishna in this way. And Krishna is bound by Mother Yashoda. Krishna was not bound by any other gopi. Once a gopi wanted to bind Krishna. So when that gopi went and complained to Mother Yashoda, Yashoda said, my son will not steal. She defended, my son will never steal. Do I not have any butter or milk in my house? Why my son has to come to your house and steal? Okay, anyways, if you find my son stealing in your house, you can catch him red-handed, you catch his hand and bring him to me. Then I will punish him, she said. Then this gopi was waiting for an opportunity to capture Krishna. So this gopi, one day Krishna came to her house, and this gopi caught Krishna red-handed. She said, my dear Krishna, I am going to bind you now. I will tie you up with a rope, and I will call Mother Yashoda and show you. So now your mother is not believing that you are stealing. So I will tie you up here in my own house, and then I will call Mother Yashoda and show. And then she brought a rope, and she was trying to bind Krishna in various ways, but Krishna was not being bound, and she could not bind Krishna. After she endeavored for a little time, Krishna said, oh innocent gopi, you don't know how to tie people. Give me the rope, I will teach you how to tie a person. And he picked up the rope, and he made that gopi, that motherly gopi, stand against the wall or the pillar, and he tied her so nicely and tightly. And later he said, this is how you should bind me. You should learn how to bind me. So after saying this, leaving her in that tied up position, Krishna ran away from there. So that gopi tried to bind Krishna, but that gopi could not bind Krishna. Only Yashodamai could bind Krishna. Of course, all the gopis of Vrindavan love Krishna so much, but of all the motherly gopis of Vrindavan, Mata Yashoda is the topmost. She is the best example, the ideal example of motherly affection for Krishna. She is the epitome of all the Vatsalya Bhaktas, and Krishna is completely controlled, captivated and conquered by her love and affection. That is the glory of Mother Yashoda. Hare Krishna.
For more such devotional programs, please watch Hare Krishna television. To get this channel, please contact your cable or DTH operator. For more information, please call 8767 845 845.